What's up, guys? Welcome back to After the Credits. Today we're going to be discussing Black Myth Wukong and how much I did not like it. Yep, we're just going to start off by saying that I fucking did not have fun with this game whatsoever. So yeah, buckle up. It's going to be ranty, and that's just how it's going to be. It is what it is. One of those games for me. So let's just dive into it. If you like the content, please consider liking and subscribing. Helps me out. I would really appreciate it. If you don't, I understand. These videos are super low effort right now. Working 12 hours every day, 60 hours a week. I'm kind of tired, so I understand if you don't like it. But if you do, a like would be appreciated. Black Myth Wukong is a retelling of the Journey to the West story. I don't know what the shit that means. I don't know if anybody in the West really knows much of that story. It's more of a Chinese thing or Eastern culture story. But essentially in this game you start off in the prologue as Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. You are killed at the very beginning of the game and you are basically reincarnated as the Destined One, and that's the character you play throughout the game. And it's basically the telling of the Destined One's journey from the bottom basically to the highest highs and potentially becoming Sun Wukong himself at the end of the game. It's basically just the journey of the Destined One. And as far as the story goes, I think it's actually pretty cool. The ending is really cool. The final boss fight, really cool. Incredibly hard. Probably the most difficult boss I've ever fought in my life was the final boss of this game. It was an absolute torture scenario for reasons we'll get into later on in the video. But the storytelling was really good. I thought that part was really enjoyable. Would I ever play it again just to experience the story? Absolutely not. Not in a million years. No fucking way. Not a goddamn chance. But for the one playthrough, it was decent. Probably better than decent. It was pretty good. So Black Myth Wukong runs on Unreal Engine 5. And if you can tell from the video behind me, the graphics are astounding. Absolutely incredible in this game. It's definitely one of the highest points of this game for me, is that the game looks gorgeous, and every new region that you go to has a different feel and looks really cool. They introduce like snow, and you have desert environments and green lush forests and all that stuff, which is all really cool and it looks great. But the combat is so bad. Before I go into the combat rant, you do get some cool drip for your character as well. He looks fucking dope throughout the game. You can just continue to get better and better armor. It's really cool. So that's another awesome aspect of this game. So if you like drip, this is a good option. I don't think it's Stellar Blade good as far as customization. I need to play that game, by the way. Haven't even considered that. I need to put that on the wish list. Stellar Blade. I've heard good things. But this game's got cool drip too, if you're into that, dripping out your character. Yeah, pretty cool. But this game falls flat. This game falls completely on its face for me in the combat department. And I think that's going to be the true determining factor, whether you enjoy the game or you absolutely despise the game like I do. So this game is set up as kind of a mix between a Souls-like and just a straight up action RPG. Essentially, it falls more on the action side than the Souls side, but essentially what you do throughout the game is you progress from, through these different environments by fighting little mobs throughout the area, and then going up against a tremendous amount of bosses. There is an incredible amount of bosses in this game. I know that I missed quite a few throughout my playthrough. I tried to be as diligent as I could, but I know I missed a ton. But there's just a lot of bosses in this game, which was super appealing to me. The other thing that was super appealing to me is this is a dodge-focused game. So typically when I play Souls games, I like to play in a dodge play style. I usually go a dex build, like daggers and stuff like that. And then I like to be quick and sneaky and kind of run in, do some quick attacks and back out. And that is my play style. So I thought this was going to be right up my alley until I got the fucking controller in my hands. And all went to shit after that. So let's get a little bit more detail and break down the combat and why I dislike it as much as I do. So in this game, you have different combat stances. There's a pillar stance, there's a strike stance, there's a smash stance, and all these different stances. And essentially, in these different stances, your basic attack or your light attacks remain the same throughout all stances. However, your heavy attack is different depending on which stance you choose to use. Typically, through my playthrough, I used pillar stance the majority of the time, where you go up on your pillar, you flip and you swing it and smash the enemies down. So all this sounds good and normal. Everything's fine here. The problem is, my typical playstyle in a game like this is I hardly ever use heavy attacks. It's very rare for me to use heavy attacks, if at all. I typically like I said, go in, use light attacks, back out, kind of reset, figure things out, go in, use more light attacks, be quick, nimble, and out of the way. And you just can't do that in this game. You have to use light attacks in this game to hit the enemy, which builds up your focus meter. I don't know if that's what it's called, but what I'm going to call it for the video. But essentially, you build up this meter, and once you get the meter full, it illuminates a blip down on the bottom of the screen. And as you progress through the game, you get more focus bubbles. And basically, the more focus that you accumulate, the stronger your charged heavy attack will become. So this game is just a constant balance of doing light attacks that do absolutely no damage, to then get your focus built up so that way you can unleash a devastating charged heavy attack that does the majority of the damage. So you're essentially just going in to build this focus and then going out, using a charged heavy, and repeating the cycle. I never figured it out all the way, I don't think. I just struggled with this the whole time. There was something about going into a boss fight, using light attacks, and seeing how little damage those light attacks do, that just made the whole experience suck for me. I mean, it just sucked. I just couldn't get the hang of it. And even when you unleash those heavy attacks, I don't know. It's just everything felt so overly inflated with HP that the game didn't feel fun. And a lot of that is just to do with the fact that the combat did not hit with me. I think that's the biggest determining factor, whether or not you will like this game or you'll absolutely despise it, is whether or not you find the combat enjoyable. I think what you're supposed to do is kind of learn your light attack combo, because you can cancel it at any stage and then carry it on. So if you do like the first attack, you can kind of maneuver around and then throw your second, hit X again to do the next light attack, and it's the next attack in the sequence, and then you kind of weave in and out. I just couldn't get it. I couldn't figure it out, and it just never stuck. It never fit. And for a 60-hour experience, when you are playing a combat-heavy, focused game and the combat isn't hitting, the whole experience is going to be a nightmare, and that's basically what it became for me. I mean, honestly, I can't believe I beat the final boss of this game. It took me an astounding amount of time, probably 10 hours of just constantly going. I mean, it was a 10-hour session. I was just fucking pissed, and I wouldn't give up. I'm too stubborn. So when I get in that mode, I'm just going to do it. And I mean, I was up all fucking night fighting this motherfucker. And then I finally beat him 10 hours later, and it was like almost no relief, because it was so agonizing that the payoff didn't matter, because I was just like, God, thank Jesus this game is over. I don't see myself ever playing it again. I really don't. So yeah, that's just a bummer. Just a fucking bummer, because I really wanted to like it. I just could not grasp it, could not latch on to the systems in place, and it ruined it for me. The other thing to mention that's kind of the other thing that's important to note, there is some performance issues with this game, and from my understanding, there's a memory leak potentially, so the longer session that you have, the performance is going to gradually get worse and worse and worse and worse as you go. So consider rebooting your game if you're having a lot of performance issues. But yeah, there's some lag, and the lag always happens at apparently seemingly the worst times. The frame drops rather, not lag, but it kind of feels the same when you're in a high stakes moment against a boss fight, which always happens in this game. So yeah, not great. Not great. So yeah, honestly, this is like, as far as the ATC series, this is the most miserable time I've had. Boy, it was rough. I don't think I streamed this game at all. Pretty much just played it off stream. which is rare for me because I usually like to stream and chat with people that hang out and chat and stuff, and I couldn't be bothered with this game. I just wasn't having fun, and I knew that the stream would suck if I turned it on, so that was a bummer. But it's checked off. I got it off the game log, and I just don't see myself ever coming back to it. So my recommendation is if you have a buddy that has access to the game, like a physical copy or something like that, give it a shot first. If you like the combat, check it out. You might enjoy it. But if you're like me and it doesn't stick, jump off. It's a long experience, and it's just doesn't get better. So if you can't jive with it initially, you're not going to jive with it at the end. At least that isn't what happened for me. But anywho's. All right, that's going to do it for this episode. I know it was kind of a crappy one. I'm not really happy with the commentary as I'm doing it right now. I didn't want to make a video on this game to begin with, but this is technically the next game that I beat after Dredge, so I want to stick with the series, and I think the videos will get better, but this is just a game I didn't like and wasn't having fun with, and put off making this video for over a month. So, you know, stick with me, okay? If this one sucked, and you didn't like Dredge, you didn't like the Dredge video, or you didn't like the Returnal video, just bear with me. I'm trying different things, and, you know, hopefully the next game will be better. Actually, the next game will be better, because I already beat the next game that we're going to talk about on ATC. Video to be coming soonish. And that's going to be a much better video, because that game was way better than this game. By a million miles. But other than that, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate and love y'all. Tell someone something nice today. Could change their life. And thanks for watching After the Credits with me again. Have a good one. Talk to you guys soon.